So like whenever you're talking about the fall of United States, um, if we're one of the if we're one of the biggest powers on the planet, I mean, how are we gonna fall? And what makes you think that, or why are you certain of that? Are you certain of it, or is it what?
I'm glad you said that because I thought of something earlier and I just remembered. Willful ignorance by the masses is a huge problem.
Like how?
Like people just blindly believing the mainstream media, like all the hate for Donald Trump just because they said so.
Much better.
All
Okay,
right.
so you're talking about willful ignorance of the masses, believing the mainstream media. Explain what's wrong with those things. What's wrong with your mainstream media? What's wrong with? I mean, what's mainstream media? What's going on? I mean,
Just put me on the spot.
what did you think was going to happen? It's like if. Well, I mean, what are we talking about? I mean, if we're going to talk, I mean, what do you mean? I mean, it's like I want you to rouse some up, Dillon. That's the point of this. I want us to be engaging and try to. I mean, we can't just do generalities. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
We have to we that is part of that. That's one of those things. You're talking about willful ignorance. What about willful generalities?
Yeah.
What about whenever someone tells you, well, this is freaking A, what am I thinking? Oh, well, you just need to get your life together. You just need to get sober. Oh, you just need to get clean. Oh, you just need to come to Jesus. Oh, you just need to go to church. Those are very broad and general statements. And people are looking for an answer. People want an answer. So what's the answer? What's a real answer?
Come up with solutions, I guess.
Like what?
There.
I'm not asking you to answer, world hunger right now.
Yeah.
But it's like, what can you do? What can I do? How can we be prepared? I mean,
I'm stumped. To be honest with you, I'm just being 100% honest. I'm stumped right now.
So what do you do? How did you how okay, I've got this thing. And I'm not saying that I came up with it. I'm sure somebody else already said it first. But woke is not awake.
Yes.
Okay. So how do we wake up? Not talking about getting woke.
Yeah.
I'm talking about waking up.
One thing I can think of right now I started doing for myself is research.
Okay.
Not just believing something on the news because that's what the news said. Also, it must be true.
Gotcha.
I stopped doing that several years ago.
So it's like if we can say, okay, I'm not really trusting these news sources.
Yeah.
Whether it's on the TV, even online, and you're talking about doing research and finding out for yourself. We need to do the same thing in our spiritual lives, right?
Yeah.
I mean, that's what we were talking about at the beginning, talking about something that Preston has ingrained in us is to look it up for yourself.
Yeah.
The best that you can.
Something I just had a thought. I've always been a patriot. Right wing, conservative most of my life. And when COVID hit, that's when I started like getting real heavy into it. When COVID first hit, I was scared. Like the first couple of weeks, I think everybody was. But then after a while, I started to realize, I was like, this is ridiculous. Like, what are we doing here?
Yeah.
That's when I got really, really into politics and looking it up for myself. And I got I got really, really deep into it for a while, like real deep. And, I feel like I burnt myself out because, like we were talking a minute ago, like you try, and then nothing really changes, and it's kind of discouraging. But like the channels like Timcast and like stuff like that inspires me, and what you're trying to do right now, what we're trying to do, like that stuff inspires me, man. And I know it does a lot of people in this country. Just people actually sitting down having a conversation about the problem.
Without name calling, without name calling, just having a real conversation. And it's kind of like if, oh, there's Matt. He must have sensed it. Uh-oh. Uh-oh.
Uh-oh. We need to pause.
Yes.
Okay.
Dude, he scared the shit out of me.
Me too, dude.
Like, you cannot send a text saying I up bad. Like, that's exactly it. It says I up. Next text message, I bad.
Yeah.
Like, I didn't think he got high. Like, I didn't think he got high,
Just
but
so
I was
bad,
just
something
like,
bad.
yeah, I was
Yeah.
like, oh man, he tore something up. Oh, he broke something. Oh, he,
Yeah.
Pissed off tore. I don't know.
Yeah.
I didn't expect him to get high because I talked to him last night. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And so it's like, he wasn't acting weird or any different. He just is he's not beardless, but he does have less beard.
Yeah.
So I guess I'm winning. I guess I'm winning now.
Yeah.
By default, almost. I can bring my microphone down. There we go. It's way up in my. There we go. Okay, there. But ooh, that's a
Mucus.
little bit. I'm gonna have to take some Mucinex. But I don't even. I have no idea what we were talking about. What
I
were we
think
talking
you said without name calling something. I mean, I can't remember after that.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So, like, whenever we're talking about sussing out the truth and getting into it, and it's like, what can there we go. What can we do? And whenever we talk about debate and sharing points of view and things like that. It keeps falling. Doop. Story of my life. But having a conversation. Without resulting to hurting feelings and getting feelings hurt,
Yeah.
It goes back to that facts don't care about feelings. I am one of those people.
Yeah.
And sometimes my feelings get hurt, but, you got to move on. You got to grow. You got to grow up.
Yeah.
Excuse me. It's part of maturing, is being confronted with things that are opposite of what you believe. And sometimes you're just wrong, although you feel so right.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Is there anything specifically whenever I know, like, you and I, we did a lot of research and stuff whenever we were at the House of Mercy, as far as biblically, and we found some things that we realized that we believed were not true. But what were some things as far as out in this world? Have there been some things that you've since leaving the House of Mercy and trying to do this life in a not just in a sober way, like, forget just staying clean, forget that, but also, attempting to live a more godly or spirit-filled life.
Always at the end of the question. My bad. I was waiting for you to like keep going. Oh, oh. Wow. Ooh. Was that the question? I'm sorry. Yes, Dylan, that was the question. So can you repeat? Ooh.
I do have a tendency to overcomplicate questions.
I have a tendency to overthink them. It's a bad combination, but it's hilarious.
The thing is, the look on your face was like there was no thought there at all, though. It was just like,
I'm glad I'll be able to see it.
Blank stare.
I can't wait to see it.
Oh, dude, it's just this blank. I was like, whoa, maybe whenever I said that, did I ask that messed up? Because I probably did ask it messed up because I do that sometimes.
No, just the way you ended it. It just sounded like there was more. I was like, he's not done.
I do that too a lot because it's like I realize that I'm overcomplicating it, and so I stop at the.
I needed that laugh.
What are some truths? What are? I need one of those. What are some so what are some truths that turned out to be lies in your life that you can point out now today?
That's a good question. Top of my head is hard, but there's several. I mean, there is several. Truth. I really am just blah today, dude. I know there's so many.
I feel it, dude.
There's so many. Like
feel you.
once I think of one, I know I could go on a ramble. I go on a ramble of them.
I don't know. What about whenever we're talking about truth, right? We're talking about truth. We're trying to figure out what is the truth. So what is something that we've always believed, or a way that we've always acted, or a way that we've always tried to live our life, not talking about using, but what's a thought, an attitude that we've always had, that we thought that was the correct way of doing things. Like we genuinely thought that, and it's like, whoa, that was incorrect.
One I just came to thought was I used to truly believe that only my actions hurt myself. I used to genuinely think that, like my actions didn't affect anybody else. I was like, I'm only hurting myself.
Okay,
explain. And that's a big lie.
Explain a little bit more about that.
In my past, some of the things I've done, not just addiction, but the things I did in them.
Yeah.
I hurt a lot of other people.
So what would
took me a long time to realize that, but it was a lie. But now I see it as a truth.
Who else was it hurting, though? I mean, other than if excluding any type of actual physical contact with any other human beings, whether it be selling, using, blah, 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 whatever like that. Not talking about that, then how is that hurting anybody else?
You never know what somebody else is going through. Like if you, like say you go into work, and, you're having a bad attitude.
Yeah.
You just being nasty.
Yeah.
You could that could be somebody's last straw, and you have no idea.
Okay.
We should just always be kind. Always.
Okay.
We're called to.
Okay. So now I'm glad that you're bringing this up, because this is what I love to teach. This is one of the things that I've been really pushing since I've been back teaching the last couple of weeks.
Yeah.
because I'm asking that question all the time. What can we do?
Yeah.
What's an answer? That's because that's a real question. What is the answer here? Because like we take for example at the House of Mercy or any type of ministry where people are coming in and they're seeking an answer. It's like what do I need to do? Because we have, as humans, we want to do something, right?
Yeah.
We want to do something. We feel like we have to do something, and in our faith and in our lives, there are things that we are to do.
Yeah.
And I like to make the clear distinction between salvation versus living out your life.
Oh, I want to get this off before I forget. Okay,
that.
so like, just an example, like Rosa Parks.
Okay.
Like what she did. Sparked a movement.
Yeah.
What happened on the bridge? You have to help me think of the name of it. It was during segregation and all that.
Was it Selma?
I think so.
Yeah.
Like where all the people united and
Yeah.
held our. They just took the punishment and took it, and it people saw that and realized that like damn, like they're just taking that violence and not fighting back. Who's really in the wrong now?
Right.
You know what I'm talking about, right?
Yeah, it's like through peaceful protest
Yes.
and non-action, you see the aggression being put out on them.
Yeah.
It's whenever someone's trying to, we now use the term gaslight. Whenever someone's trying to gaslight you into doing something, to act something, to say something, to be a certain way, they're trying to get a reaction out of you. And that's the same thing that a lot of corrupt people do.
Yeah.
And I just mean people in general that goes across every racial border. It goes across both gender borders. It goes across every societal border.
Yeah.
There are really corrupt people in every sect of life. And so whenever it seems to me that, we know that the Bible says that we will be persecuted, that the Christian belief, we will be persecuted. I believe that the persecution in America looks different than it does in other countries. We have to say that. I'm not, because you can't flat out say that there is no persecution in America, because that's not an accurate statement. It just is not the same. We can't even compare it to some of these other countries where you have people that are literally being beheaded, tortured, all these things because they are Christians, because they have a piece of a Bible.
Yeah.
So although our persecution is not the same, it's just like, that's the thing about being in the body of Christ, is we all have an individual relationship with God, and we're not all being judged by as a nation and as a whole. It's all an individual thing. Each person is judged on their own merits. If they're a saved person, they're judged on what they did with their salvation. That's what goes back to, we are saved by grace, right? But what happens then? What do you do with your life after that? How do you live your life after that? A lot of churches teach that, and a lot of people teach, and I can understand why they teach this, but they teach you're saved by grace and then you live by the law.
Yeah.
Maybe they may not flat out say those words. Some of them do, but they may not flat out say that, but that's what's going on.
Yeah. I like what Preston says, and he's not the only one that said it. The loudest testimony is without words. I love that. Just the way we live. People see that and they're like, I want what you got. How do you get that? Let me open up this book and show you.
Yeah.
And that opens the door.
Okay. You say you open up this book and show you. I mean, where are you going in the book to show people this stuff? Because if you look at different groups of Christians and look at all these different people out there and the way that they handle these things, you have all these people, just like you always have, that have been screaming hellfire and brimstone since they could. You have all these people, that it makes us look so bad, that are protesting funerals, God hates signs, bullshit like that.
It breaks my heart.
So much hate.
Yeah,
That's the problem with it. It's the, just like Preston says all the time, it's the intention of your heart. It's why you're doing what you're doing. It's not always what you're doing. Sometimes, a lot of times, it's why are you doing what you're doing. That's why, like in investigations, they look for motive, means, and opportunity. Those are the three: motive, means, and opportunity, right? So it's like, why are you doing what you're doing? I mean, we have to have a reason for the things that we do, So the question is, what is your motivation? Is there a difference between what motivated your life pre Wichita Falls, pre House of Mercy, versus what motivates your life today?
Oh yes, 100%.
Like how?
180. Okay, so before I came to Wichita Falls in 2017, I had never actually sat down and read the Bible at all. I had heard, like Matthew, Mark, Luke, and John, and heard stories. I never actually read a Bible until 2017.
Really?
Yes. Anyway, before that, I was completely materialized world. I thought that when you died, you just died.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, my biggest goals was to get like the best car, the best house, blah, 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 blah. And now I think the biggest goal we should have in life is to take as many people with us to heaven as we can before we die. That's the number one.
Yeah. Bring that microphone closer. But anyways, so you were a materialistic, greedy.
Yes, 100%.
Yeah. Because I just don't. That's not who I know today at all. Like, I just don't see you being like that.
Yeah, like I said, 180, dude.
Yeah, like that's why I was just like, you were talking about, well, two things that stood out to me right there. Whenever you were so one, that you hadn't read a Bible in 2017.
Yeah, I'd never cracked one open until in 2017.
So for those of you that don't know my friend Dillon here, the man knows his word pretty dang good, pretty well, and he learns it very, I mean, just it's impressive to me, especially with being able to remember the verses that you do and how and whatnot, and because Dillon and I spent a lot of time studying together at the House of Mercy, and so it was really cool because it's like Dillon knows where it is in the book, and it's like I don't know, it was really nice having you there, and then to learn that,
likewise,
I guess, let's see, I mentioned 2001,
2021.
What did I say?
2001.
Oh, wow. Yeah, not in 2001. 2021.
I was 7 years old.
Yes, I did.
2001.
I was not in Des Moines, Iowa in 2001. Okay. I was in high school. Anyways, but yeah, just 4 years. In just 4 years, it was pretty cool. And then getting to see you learn how to use it at the House of Mercy, how to utilize it, how to can you explain 2 Timothy 2:15 for me?
Explain it?
Yeah.
Well,
First of all, what is it? What is the verse?
Study to show thyself approved unto God, a workman who need not be ashamed, rightly dividing the word of truth. I focus on the last part of that verse, rightly dividing the word of truth. Means to cut and separate.
Okay.
That's what, because like I said, I was a Pentecostal before I came to House of Mercy. And it just makes so much sense the more and more I just got deeper and deeper into it. Because one of the biggest problems I had when I had my newfound faith was all the contradictions. I just kind of accepted them because I knew that there was a God. I feel like I got saved in 2017. When that 180 hit.
Yeah.
But in 2021, that's when I really started to like get it into me.
Yeah.
You know, the House of Mercy instilled that into me.
Yeah. Okay. So, but what about a workman that needeth not be ashamed, rightly dividing the word of truth? So you're talking about, you said rightly dividing the word of truth, but also saying contradiction. Okay. Say that again.
Context.
What do you mean about context?
Who is God talking to? Where are they at? You know, what's going on in the...
But God was talking to all of us.
No, sir.
Well, that's what, yeah. I mean, it's the Bible. It's...
No, in some books he's talking to the Jews. In some books he's talking to the Gentiles.
But we're spiritual Israel. What's the difference?
Sorry.
I'm trying to keep a straight face.
I'm trying to too. I can't. It's because we've gone over this so many times. I'm just laughing. We are not spiritual Israel.
Okay.
God made us different promises than the Jews. The Jews inherit the earth, and we're going to inherit heaven. That's one big difference of several.
So Ben Shapiro gets the earth, and I get heaven.
Well, there's no temple, so I don't know.
So you mean they can't perform their sacrifices that are required to
correct
practice their law of Judaism? They can't perform their sacrifices. They can't go to the temple, and they can't make their retreat 3 times a year.
It's impossible to be a Jew today.
Oh.
Yeah.
Huh. Okay.
For all of you watching this, read your Bibles.
So I'm going to make a statement, and this is another one of those statements that is probably why people don't like me, but I'm okay with it because the non-saved Jew today does not get the earth, does not get heaven. They get the lake of fire like everybody else.
Yeah.
Because if you are unsaved, it does not matter if you are Jew, Greek, Roman, American, African, Ukrainian, British. Unsaved is unsaved. Unclean is unclean.
I like
period.
how you try to trip me up with the Ben Shapiro thing. That was funny. Because earlier you totally got me with the Holy Spirit thing. But I'm like, no, he's not going to inherit no earth.
Hey, it's like I got a job to do too, My job is, I think, well, I know it is. There's no I think about it. I know it because we all have this same job. It is the ministry of reconciliation, right? It is to bring the rest of the world back to Jesus Christ. Now, I may say things that may sound offensive, but I promise you my heart is in the right place. It's not about hate, for me. And that's why I'm like...
Scared me.
I know. I saw you jump. Oh, this is going to be so much fun editing, dude. Awesome. I'm going to have so much fun.
Heck yeah.
Oh, man.
I feel like I'm finally letting loose now.
But, what was I saying? Oh, yeah. It's not about hate. Jeez, Sam. Really?